You know how you look at the Pilates roll-up and kind of think, oh, okay, so it's just a really slow, fancy sit-up. Well, get ready, because today we're going to blow that idea right out of the water. We are diving deep into one of the most iconic and, yeah, one of the most misunderstood movements in all of Pilates. And we're going to see why it's a true masterclass in control, not just about building brute strength. Okay, let's get into it.
All right, right off the bat, let's just lay it all out there. Over on the left, you've got the good old sit-up. It's often all about momentum, right? Using speed to get up, which, let's be honest, can sometimes put a lot of strain on your neck and your lower back. But then, look to the right, the roll-up. Its entire philosophy is the complete opposite. It's all about deliberate control, absolute precision through every single piece of your spine, and this smooth, continuous flow. See, it's not about how fast you get up, it's all about how you get there.
So yeah, while they might look kind of similar from across the gym, what they're trying to do for your body, their anatomical goals, are just worlds apart. A sit-up is a strength exercise, plain and simple. But the roll-up? Oh, the roll-up is like a conversation with your spine. It's a diagnostic tool that tells you everything you need to know about your core control.
And this, right here, this brings us to the big aha moment. The real goal of the roll-up isn't just about hoisting your torso off the ground. No way. The true purpose, the absolute secret sauce of this whole movement, is achieving what we call an articulating spine.
So, here's the heart of it. The main objective is to move your spine sequentially. What does that mean? It means you're trying to get each individual bone in your back, each vertebra, to move one at a time, peeling off the mat one after the other on the way up, and then laying them back down one by one on the way down.
And I love this analogy, it just makes so much sense. Think about a log. It's stiff, it's rigid, right? It moves as one big solid piece. If your back lifts off the floor like that, you're kind of missing the entire point. The Pilates way is to think of your spine more like a bicycle chain or a beautiful pearl necklace. Each link, each pearl, moves on its own, but it's still connected to the whole thing, creating this incredible, fluid, wave-like motion. And that has a name. It's called spinal articulation. It is literally the act of moving the spine vertebra by vertebra. And that is the skill we are actually training in a roll-up. And trust me, it requires this amazing combination of strength, flexibility, and a really deep mind-body connection. Now, to make that kind of articulation happen, you need a highly coordinated team of muscles. It's not just one muscle doing all the heavy lifting. Oh no, it's more like a symphony of contraction, stabilization, and release, all working together perfectly. So let's meet the key players on this team.
First up, you've got the rectus abdominis. You know this one, it's the six-pack muscle. This is your powerhouse, and it provides the main force to curl your spine forward. But it can't do the job alone. Deep underneath, you have the transversus abdominis, our stabilizer. I want you to think of this as your body's natural corset that wraps all the way around your middle, protecting your lower back and making sure the movement stays silky smooth. And then we have the muscles in your back, the multifidus and erector spinae. These guys are the silent controllers. They have to lengthen to let you roll up, and then they work together with your abs to control the speed as you roll all the way back down.
Okay, so we know the goal, and we've met the cast of characters. Now let's break this movement down into its three distinct phases. I like to think of it as a three-act play, and your spine is the star of the show.
So our three acts are the initiation, which is where we set everything up for success. Then we have the ascending phase, which is the roll-up itself. And finally, the descending phase, the controlled roll-down.
Act 1. Initiation. Okay, this part is so critical. Before you even think about lifting your head, the movement actually starts with a full exhale. This is what engages that deep stabilizer muscle we talked about, the transversus abdominis. It locks your core in place and protects your lower back. Only after that do you start to curl your head and your upper chest forward, trying to keep your gaze down towards your knees.
Now for Act 2, ascending. This is the main event. Your powerhouse muscle, the rectus abdominis, keeps contracting, peeling your spine up off the mat. And the key word here is sequentially. First the upper back, then the middle back, and finally, the lower back comes up. If that stabilizer muscle isn't doing its job, this is exactly where you'll feel that little bounce or jump in your low back.
Okay, now for a little bit of a plot twist. You'd think getting up is the hard part, right? But the source material is really clear on this. The most important, and honestly the most challenging, part of the roll-up is the descent. Controlling your body against the pull of gravity, that's where the real magic happens.
And this perfectly illustrates a key concept in exercise science called eccentric contraction. Basically, it's when a muscle is getting longer while it's still under tension. So as you roll down, your abs aren't just letting go and flopping down. No, they are actively lengthening, applying the brakes to control your descent against gravity. And that, my friends, is what builds true functional strength.
So look, knowing the theory is one thing, but actually putting it into practice in your own body is something else entirely. So let's talk about some of the most common struggles people have and how we can fix them with a few really smart, targeted cues that come straight from our source material.
First up, does this feel familiar at all? That moment where you kind of get stuck and your lower back just sort of pops or bounces off the mat as you try to force your way up? Yep, that's a sure sign you've lost that sequential articulation.
Okay, here is a brilliant cue to fix that. I want you to imagine there's some thick mud stuck to the mat right under your spine. As you roll up, your goal is to press each vertebra down into the mat to wipe that mud clean, one segment at a time, just before it lifts. This visual just forces you to slow down and find that link-by-link movement we're looking for.
How about this one? As you start to lift, do you feel all the strain creeping up into your neck? Is your chin jutting out towards the ceiling? This is such a classic sign that your neck muscles are jumping in to do the work that your abdominals should be doing.
To fix this, use this really simple image. Imagine you're holding a small orange, right between your chin and your chest. You have to keep that perfect space the entire time. You can't crush the orange by tucking your chin in too much, and you definitely can't let it drop by jetting your chin forward. It's the perfect way to keep your neck long and the work focused in your core where it belongs.
And finally, probably the most common flaw of them all, the descent. Does it start out pretty controlled and then, thud? You just lose it and your back hits the mat like one solid block. That means your abdominal brakes just gave out.
The cue here just nails the goal. Apply your abdominal brakes. You have to actively resist gravity. Remember, the goal isn't just to get down. It's to control the journey down so that each and every vertebra gets a chance to say hello and greet the mat individually, one by one.
So, as we start to wrap this up, it becomes really clear that mastering the roll-up isn't just about trying to get a six-pack. It's about developing this incredible level of body awareness and control that's going to translate way beyond just this one exercise.
The roll-up is really this beautiful integration of these three pillars. You need that raw abdominal strength to get the movement started, you need spinal flexibility and articulation to create that smooth flow, and you need precise breath control to stabilize and guide the whole thing. It really is a diagnostic tool that tells you exactly where your weaknesses are.
And this really leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? The roll-up teaches us to completely reframe our perspective. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. What could you learn about your own body if you saw every single exercise not as just some task to be completed, but as a detailed conversation about how you move?